The founding editor of Quillette magazine and columnist at the Australian, Claire Lehmann, has written about this with some insight. She joins me now. Claire, this is a difficult issue, isn't it? Although you have very clear views on it. But we've had these transgender inquiries and controversies where biological men effectively are playing against women. This is different, isn't it? She seems to, they don't give us all the details, but she falls into an intersex category.
Yeah, it's a tricky one because athletes who are intersex, or the more up-to-date term is athletes who have disorders of sexual development, they have grown up thinking that they are female, biologically female. So the disorder of sex development that is most commonly seen in athletes is a disorder. There's two disorders. They're disorders of male development. So what happens is when a baby is growing in utero, a certain protein gets switched off, which means some of their male physiology doesn't develop like it should. And so when they're born, they appear female on the outside, so they're raised as girls. But then when they hit puberty, they have internal testes. These start pumping out testosterone and other androgens, which give them a masculinized skeletal structure, big muscles, bigger lungs, bigger heart, all of the advantages that men have when it comes to sports performance. So this is an extremely vexed issue. On the one hand, we want to be sensitive to these athletes who aren't actually cheating and they're not breaking the rules. On the other hand, we have to think about why we have the female category in sports in the first place and what does it mean to have a female category?
Now, I think that's important. You have sympathy, especially in this case, for the athlete, because people are seeing that she's sort of a trans athlete who's essentially getting around the biological, but that she falls into this difficult area, as you say. Yeah. But you still have the situation where she clearly has a gender advantage, and the women competitors clearly are at a disadvantage, and we've seen that play out very dramatically and emotionally, and common sense has to be on the side of keeping the integrity of the women's competition.
I think the key thing in this situation, because this has been a situation that has played out in athletics before, but now we're talking about boxing. And if you put a female boxer in the ring with a male boxer, she can get killed. And so the issue isn't just about, fairness and inclusion and being sensitive. It's actually about safety. And I personally think that the IOC, in not having more strict rules in place about who can participate in the female category, i.e. they don't do a genetic test, they don't do any tests other than look at your passport, which can be forged, by the way. Yeah. Because the IOC have such basic or substandard rules, I think they're really actually putting women's sport at risk and women's safety at risk. Well,
this is what the boxing authorities say, because while the Olympic Federation are happy to say there's a female passport so you can compete, the boxing authorities have banned Khelif and others. Have a look at how they describe it.
Today, unfortunately, we are witnessing the failure, the death of women, female boxing.
And that's not an overstatement, I would have thought. That it has to be the death of female boxing if you go in there against someone who's physiologically male.
Yeah, I mean, who's going to train? Who's going to spend all of that time training trying to get to the Olympics if they know they can just step in there with someone who has the equivalent advantages of doping, of taking steroids, but they're allowed to?
And the testing is there. The tests have been done. We know the physiology. Why the Olympic Committee or the Olympic Federation wouldn't just accept that is beyond me.
I agree. I definitely agree. And let's hope the situation gets resolved soon, because we really don't want to see more women getting punched in the face by people with XY chromosomes.
Yeah, exactly.